got
We of course know Dave
busted
Rubin's
on
entire
January
existence
6th.
as an identity proposition. That's his whole media brand.
No, I didn't see that.
I wonder if L'Oreal Chicago cop.
Yeah, I saw this one. I saw Dan tweet out something about Lori earlier. I think she was like dancing around or something.
Sounds like something she would do. Yeah,
Chicago police
on January 6th. Like,
All right, let's see what this is about. All right, let's see.
Officer has been arrested and charged in connection with the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. Federal prosecutors say 29-year-old Carol Cheswick faces several charges, including entering a restricted building, violent entry, and disorderly conduct. Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown reacted to the news earlier today.
The fact that a Chicago police officer has been charged in that attack on American democracy makes my blood boil. Makes me sick to my stomach.
so
And
surely you're gonna
yes,
fire
if these
him, right?
allegations are true, it breaks my heart.
We just saw pictures.
Now, this comes as the House Oversight Committee announced that it will hold another hearing on the January 6th riot next Tuesday. And as two of the hundreds of people arrested and charged in connection with the riot are back in courts this afternoon. Once again with us, NBC News Washington investigative reporter Scott McFarlane. He has been following all of the twists and turns in all of these cases since January 6th. Scott, good to have you with us. So tell us more about the two guys who are in court this afternoon. What's the latest on their cases?
Hey, Eamon, let's tell you about Ryman Samsel. His court appearance begins in a few minutes.
Hey, Ash, what's
Samsel
going
is
on?
accused of one of the first attacks that day here at the Capitol.
Oh, that's awesome.
Knocking over a police
Canoeing
officer and knocking her
all day?
unconscious. He wants to be released from jail pending trial. But listen to why the feds want to hold him. They say Samsel has a history
I got
of
tired of
knocking
doing
women
canoeing after an
unconscious,
hour.
at
My arm
least
just
3 of them,
died.
including his pregnant girlfriend in 2011. Convictions in each case. Really want to watch this case closely. If he's released from jail, could be other defendants among the 39 being held to the D.C. jail who cite Ryan
imagine being a
Samsel's
cop
case
and then
in their
live
own
streaming
request for
yourself doing
release.
Right.
Let me tell you about Jason Dolan as well, an accused oath keeper, one of 16 oath keepers charged with conspiracy ahead of January 6th. A few minutes ago, a judge ordered Dolan can be released from jail pending trial. Dolan's accused of staging weapons in Virginia on the 6th for a possible second wave. But, Eamon, the judge says no criminal history here, no reason to hold him in jail till trial.
Hey, Scott, let's talk about
Ooh, did we
another
get
far-right
raided,
group
or
called the
did people
Three
just
Percenters.
happen to like us?
It has also had some connection, I believe,
never seen us
with
just
the
get like
riots.
7
Tell us
people
more
back
about
to
how
back.
this
That's
group
awesome.
is connected to what
Welcome
we
in,
saw
everybody.
on January 6th.
Of the 500 or so cases, this is one to watch. The 3 percenters are charged with planning, conspiracy, but also of planning to attack anybody who accepts the 2020 election as early as November 2020. And they say, the feds say,
those are the guys
this
I
group
want.
brought knives, bear spray, and goggles to D.C. and took a car all the way from California to D.C. to avoid raising red flags at the airport. 3 percenters, a reference to the American Revolution, to the 3% of colonials who fought the British. Prosecutors, Eamon, say these 3 percenters yelled out about the revolution here at the Capitol January 6th.
Incredible. I know that lawyers, Scott, for the accused rioters are being allowed to tour the Capitol, but you've learned that some of the attorneys are not happy about that situation. Explain that to us.
Yeah, I've learned 25 attorneys toured the Capitol last weekend, more expected in the coming days. The Capitol Police escorted them through, not by choice, but by court order. The attorneys say they didn't get enough time here, weren't allowed to take pictures. You know, it's common for defense lawyers to go to a crime scene. They don't think they got enough time at the crime scene. Eamon, that's important because there'll be more challenges, more court filings about the tours, further delaying proceedings and further delaying justice.
All right, absolutely incredible there. Scott, always a pleasure. Thanks for that reporting. Scott McFarlane, live for us in D.C.
All right. So you were saying, because you came down on, you came down a little bit differently depending on each kind of a Capitol rioter in the Bay of Chuds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that most of those QAnon freaks, I think, should, I don't blame them as much as I blame the Q-tubers, people like that, the people who are radicalizing them. Mm-hmm. The people who are in the militia groups, they are dangerous. You know, like that guy was like stashing weapons.
Right.
And those guys are just looking for an excuse to do some violence. You know, like they will do violence at another time, right? Like they're in a militia group. That's like literally their thing. You know, I think that's probably one of the bigger threats facing the country right now is people like them. Like, you know, like if you're like a QAnon goofball, like I think like you're probably, you know, not as big, you know, not really that much. Like you're not like a threat that I'm like worried about. You're gonna do some violence, like, you know, outside of, you know, you're not gonna just go out looking for shit to start, right? But like those dudes, they're in militia groups. Like the actions that guy just described there, if those are true, that guy was ready to do violence to make sure Trump fucking
stayed in office.
You know,
that's what it, I mean.
Exactly.
That was the object. That's why they were there. You know, as far as how successful they would have been, I mean, that's debatable. But
if they had anybody who was backing them, it might have worked, right?
Right.
I think that's probably what Trump was doing too. It was probably like making phone calls, trying to get see if he could get some agencies on his side.
Oh man,
I don't think the military was ever going to go for it, right? But
no, I mean,
he was probably
the
trying to get
military
like
wasn't as keen on Trump as conventional wisdom would have thought.
Yeah,
but
because they're too woke, right?
I guess so. I mean, I got my brother to wear a Veterans for Bernie shirt, and apparently he wasn't the only Bernie supporter around, and that's in Texas. So that was cool.
I mean, Bernie was the top recipient of donations from active duty military.
That's dope, man.
I don't know about veterans, but definitely active duty.
Oh yeah, by the way, did you see